Welcome back, spicy ladies. There are women who demand attention, and there are women who rearrange a room without speaking. The Sigma female doesn't step forward to be seen. She simply is, and somehow everyone feels her. But here's the secret. Most of the time, she doesn't even realize what people, especially men, pick up on. Not the obvious, not the loud. Today, we go beneath the surface. 12 things men deeply notice about Sigma females that she doesn't even know she's doing. But first, if this is your first time with us, subscribe to Wisdom Ways, where we explore what most people overlook, where we learn how to live quieter but deeper. Before we begin, a gentle invitation. If your soul leans toward peace over praise, if you're the kind of woman who protects her softness in a loud world, there's a quiet offering waiting for you. Choose yourself softly. A poetic, meditative guide for the woman who doesn't need fixing. She just needs permission to return to herself. This book is for you if you long for stillness, soft boundaries, and soulful clarity. It's not a guide to becoming more. It's a call to become you. Let your life feel like yours again. The link is in the description and the first pinned comment. 1. The way she hides in plain sight. She's the one in the room you don't notice until you realize she's the one you can't stop thinking about. The Sigma female isn't trying to disappear. She simply doesn't need to be the loudest. That in itself creates a gravitational pull. While others perform to be seen, she simply is. And that quiet refusal to perform makes her unforgettable. Men notice her precisely because she's not looking at them. She's not decorating her presence for approval. She's rooted in herself. She wears comfort like an invisible cloak. She doesn't dress to provoke. She dresses to feel like herself. There's something about her energy, like a forest you stumble into by accident, but can't leave without a piece of it living inside you. She doesn't hide because she's afraid. She hides because she has nothing to prove. And ironically, that's what makes men want to prove themselves to her. They wonder about her. They want to break through her invisibility, but can't because her invisibility isn't a wall. It's a choice. She doesn't need recognition to feel real. She doesn't shapeshift to be liked. She holds her essence like a quiet lantern in the dark. And those who are truly awake notice her unapologetic silences. Right now, if you are still watching, I hope this video can help you. Your comments motivate me so much, so I can make more videos which you like. So hit that subscribe button and leave me a message. Let's continue. 2. Her potent silence. She's not uncomfortable in the silence. She lives there. When a Sigma female is quiet, it isn't passive. It's potent. Her silence speaks louder than speeches. It creates a pause that unsettles shallow energy and invites depth. Men don't quite know how to respond to that. Most are used to filling silences with compliments, charm, or noise. But when she stays silent, not to play games, but because she doesn't waste breath, it leaves them exposed. There's mystery in how she holds her tongue, not out of fear, but out of discernment. She doesn't speak unless her words serve truth. Not because she lacks opinion, but because she knows the difference between reaction and wisdom. And men, they feel that difference. They sense there's something behind the quiet, a story, a depth, a boundary. And instead of controlling the room with words, she rearranges its energy by simply being still. She doesn't explain herself, doesn't justify her mood, doesn't overcorrect to make others comfortable. And this rattles people who rely on constant validation to feel safe. Her silence doesn't say, "I don't care." It says, "I'm listening to something deeper than this moment." It's not indifference, it's alignment. And men find themselves leaning in, trying to hear the unspoken. 3. Her eye contact that doesn't beg. When she looks at someone, it's not flirtation, it's clarity. The Sigma female doesn't use eye contact to charm or seduce. She simply sees clearly, steadily, without need. And that unnerves people. When men meet her eyes, they feel something rare. Being witnessed, not evaluated, not objectified, not challenged, just seen. Her gaze doesn't say, "I want you." It says, "I see what you are." It's brief, calm, clean. She doesn't linger to tease. She doesn't perform affection with her eyes. She doesn't ask for attention. Her presence commands it. What makes it unforgettable is the contrast. In a world of exaggerated expressions and overused gestures, her eye contact feels like an anchor. It doesn't try to convince, it confirms. And for men used to being admired or avoided, this kind of neutral, non-transactional presence can feel electric. It's not sexual, it's spiritual. And the moment it's over, they miss it. They want to earn another look. They wonder if it meant something. They're left asking, why did that one glance feel like a door opening and closing? 4. Her disinterest in competing. She's not trying to win, she's trying to be. And in a world addicted to comparison, that makes her radical. The Sigma female has no interest in proving she's better, not prettier, not smarter, not more successful. She has stepped off that stage completely. And what happens when someone isn't competing? They become unpredictable. They become free. Men are used to being impressed, used to women subtly or overtly trying to catch their attention through beauty, charm, accomplishment, or wit. But the Sigma female doesn't play that game. She doesn't measure herself against other women, and she certainly doesn't audition for approval. She might sit quietly in the corner at a gathering, not because she's unsure of herself, but because she's uninterested in performance. And that disinterest is magnetic. Her value isn't reactive, it's internal. She doesn't look around to know how she's doing. She looks inward and men notice. They notice the stillness in her eyes, the lack of scramble, the absence of pretend confidence. There's something sacred in her self-containment. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. And ironically, the very thing she doesn't try to outshine is what makes her unforgettable in a room full of noise. 5. Her rhythm. The world moves fast. She doesn't. And that changes everything. The Sigma female has her own timing. Not because she's lazy or lost, but because she knows that rushing often leads you away from yourself. She pauses. She notices. She finishes her thought before she speaks. She sips her drink instead of gulping it down. She's present, and it shows in her rhythm. Men pick up on this in ways they don't even understand. There's something about the way she moves, the way she waits, the way she listens. It signals depth, and depth is rare. She's not always on. She doesn't fill every gap with noise. She allows space. That space, that pause, becomes a container. Men feel more real around her, even if they don't know why, because her rhythm slows the world down. Suddenly, a conversation feels more intimate. A glance feels like an encounter. Time itself feels different. She's not slow. She's deliberate. She's not quiet. She's tuned in. And in her rhythm, there is peace. And in that peace, men discover a version of themselves they forgot existed. 6. Her inner world that they'll never fully enter. She's warm. She's open. She may even share parts of her story. But something about her stays untouched, unentered. That's not manipulation. That's mystery. The Sigma female has an entire world inside her. Gardens of thought, unspoken prayers, memories she doesn't offer for display. And men sense that. They don't know what it is, but they feel it. The layers they can't access. The room she doesn't unlock. Not because she's playing games, but because not everything is meant to be shared. She's not closed. She's curated. And that creates a dynamic of respectful distance. Men find themselves wondering, who is she really? What hasn't she said? The answer, a lot. But not because she's hiding, because she's sacred. She doesn't believe every vulnerability must be revealed to be real. She holds some of herself like a secret, not out of fear, but reverence. And the more you try to reach the center, the more you realize there may never be a full center. There's only more depth. She's an ocean, not a swimming pool. And those who seek her must come prepared for tides, not clarity. That inner world is hers. And the privilege is not access, it's nearness. 7. Her gentle authority. She never raises her voice. She doesn't need to. The Sigma female carries authority not through dominance, but through presence. There's something in her tone, quiet, steady, that makes people stop and listen. Not because they fear her, but because they respect her. Men notice this right away. They sense that she's not asking to be taken seriously. She already takes herself seriously. And that kind of self-honoring changes the atmosphere. She speaks slowly, but not because she's unsure. She chooses her words. And when she speaks, there's no fluff, only clarity. She doesn't rush into arguments. She doesn't need to prove she's right. She just knows. And when she does express something, it lands. Her authority is internal. It's not about status or position. It's about presence. She walks into a room and feels like a center of gravity. Even when she disagrees, she does it without venom, without overcompensation. Her no isn't loud, but it echoes. And men are often taken off guard by it. They expect fire or softness, not this serene steel. But that's her magic. She blends empathy with discernment. She can hold space and hold the line at the same time. Her boundaries aren't walls. They're a quiet blueprint for how she allows the world to treat her. And people, men especially, adjust themselves around that energy. Because in a sea of attention-seeking noise, her calm certainty feels like leadership. Not the kind you vote for, the kind you follow. 8. Her untamed stillness. Stillness in a woman often gets mistaken for submission, but not hers. The Sigma female stillness is not passive. It's primal. It's anchored. It's the stillness of a mountain. Not waiting, not obeying, just being. She's not rushing to fix things. She's not reacting to every emotional spark. She watches, observes, chooses, and that unnerves people, especially men used to reaction as a sign of interest. She doesn't flinch when ignored. She doesn't chase when someone pulls away. Her stillness says, you do what you want. I'll be over here unchanged, and that more than anything is power. Men find themselves returning to her, not because she pulls them, but because her stillness creates a kind of gravity. They remember how calm they felt around her, how something inside them slowed down in her presence, how they didn't have to impress her. They just had to be real. Stillness is not a lack of energy. It's the containment of it. She's a mirror, not a magnet. She doesn't seek to attract. She allows what's true to stay. And that quiet holding, that spacious non-reactivity, that's what keeps echoing long after she leaves. 9. Her self-possession. She doesn't look around the room to decide how to feel. She already knows. That's self-possession, and it's one of the rarest and most irresistible qualities a person can have. The Sigma female owns herself, not just her opinions, but her desires, her limits, her mood, her body. She doesn't second-guess her instincts to make others comfortable. She doesn't explain herself to feel valid. She's rooted in an inner compass that doesn't need external calibration. And men feel this instantly. They may not have the language for it, but they sense that she's not seeking anyone to tell her who she is. She walks into a room and doesn't scan for permission to belong. She already belongs wherever she chooses to be. That's not arrogance. It's internal sovereignty. She doesn't pretend to be okay when she's not. She doesn't shrink when others shine. She holds her truth like it's sacred because it is. Self-possession doesn't mean she never doubts. It means even in doubt, she stays with herself. And that kind of loyalty to her own soul radiates. Men feel it in her posture, in her gaze, in her refusal to perform. She is herself fully, unapologetically. And in a world full of shape-shifting personalities, that kind of steadiness doesn't just stand out. It stuns. 10. Her absence that feels like a presence. You don't notice her leave, but you feel the shift when she's gone. The Sigma female doesn't cling to rooms, people, or attention. She enters quietly, holds space fully, and exits with grace. But somehow her absence echoes. Men especially notice this. They may not register it at first, but hours, even days after she's gone, something lingers, a calm they felt around her, a clarity in the conversation. The way she made them feel seen without needing to be seen herself. She doesn't try to be unforgettable. She simply is because she was fully there and then fully not. In a world where so many people linger, try to leave a mark, or demand remembrance, she does none of that. And that's exactly why they remember her. Men don't always realize they've grown used to noise until they feel the silence she leaves behind. That silence isn't empty. It's charged. It holds the energy of someone who doesn't overstay her welcome, who knows when enough has been said, who doesn't tether herself to anything that doesn't match her peace. And when she's gone, She takes nothing but leaves them with everything. 11. Her unexpected wit. You expect her to be composed, maybe even serious, but then she drops a line that cuts the air in half. The Sigma female has a wit that doesn't shout. It slides in sideways, subtle and sharp, dry humor, observational edge. That rare kind of intelligence that arrives in silence, not in spectacle. She's not trying to be funny. She's not performing. Her humor is a natural extension of her clarity. She sees what others miss and sometimes what others hide. And when she names it with a single sentence, everyone laughs but also feels slightly exposed. Men are often surprised by this. They expect softness, stillness, maybe wisdom. But wit that catches them off guard and makes them look again because there's a thrill in someone who can hold calm and cut through illusion in the same breath. She doesn't laugh at everything, but when she does, it's full, real, unforced. And when she makes a joke, it's not to seek approval. It's because she can't not notice the absurdity of things. That unexpected spark of humor reveals another layer. She's not just quiet. She's alive in her mind. And for men used to surface-level charm, that kind of depth with an edge is unforgettable. 12. Her sacred no. This is the one that stays with them. The Sigma female doesn't scream no. She doesn't defend it. She doesn't decorate it with justifications. She simply doesn't agree, doesn't move, doesn't allow. And that's a sacred act. Because in a world that constantly demands women to say yes, to please, to tolerate, to bend, her no is holy. She says no without guilt, without performance. She doesn't soften it to protect someone else's comfort. She doesn't weaponize it either. It's not angry. It's clean. And men feel the weight of that. Some admire it. Some fear it. All remember it. Her no is not rejection. It's self-alignment. It's her choosing herself over approval, over conflict avoidance, over fear. It says, this is not for me, and that's enough. And what makes it sacred isn't just the act itself. It's the years of inner work, boundaries, clarity, and courage behind it. Men used to manipulation or hesitation are stunned by her certainty. They may try to argue, charm, push. She simply repeats herself calmly, or doesn't respond at all because her peace is non-negotiable. And her no doesn't close the door on love. It opens the door to real love, the kind that doesn't demand self-abandonment. To all the spicy ladies who stayed until now, thank you, not just for watching, but for listening with the kind of presence most people skip past. You're here because you don't crave the surface. You crave what stirs. And the truth is, much of what makes the Sigma female powerful is what makes her misunderstood. But that power isn't volume. It's vibration. Stay soft. Stay rooted. Stay sovereign. If these words reach something inside you, if you felt recognized more than just entertained, then maybe it's time. Choose yourself softly. It's not just a book. It's a hand on your back. A quiet return. You don't have to force your way into the world anymore. You don't have to explain why you need space. You're allowed to come home to yourself, to peace, to stillness that doesn't apologize. The link is in the description and the first pinned comment. Read it not to change, but to remember.